Oh, yeah. We're back with week 2, Liz.
Week dos.
I don't think it's fair to say week 2, though. I think we should probably say episode 2 because eventually I think we're going to get into a different posting routine. Mm-hmm. So maybe it's not going to be week by week. Maybe it'll be month by month. No, it'll be month by month. That's crazy.
You're crazy.
We like to talk way too much.
True.
So it's week 2, and if you listen to last... Let's just say it again. It's
the
hard
last episode.
Yeah. It's hard to break out of that. If you listen to the last episode, though, I apologize. We're just figuring this stuff out, so give us some grace. I did make sure that all of my devices, Liz, are on Do Not Disturb.
Mine's on, vibrate, so close enough, right?
I feel like mine was on blast last week.
It was.
Full...
Because you didn't also do your computer, that's why.
Oh, yeah, true. But it's good now, so that's exciting. We got, you got a drink. I got my little stress ball thingy. What cup are you drinking from, Liz?
Today's cup is Bahamas, so for those confused of why I always talk about my cups, I collect the Starbucks cup, and some people say it's cheating. I don't think so, but I have over 50 Starbucks cups, and a lot of the times, probably maybe half of them, people have given us because they see I collect them. And we have friends in the Navy, missionary friends, people just from all over. So I love the fact that I have so many cups from people because that means almost every cup has a story. So whenever I do, if I get Texas, I think of Rody, and I will sometimes send him a text or a snap, or I'll just say a little prayer over him because I know he's stationed, not overseas right now, but just wondering about him. So I just love that every cup has a story. So yeah, that's my Starbucks cup collection story.
Wow. So what are you drinking from today?
Today is the Bahamas. So this is actually a us purchased one. So not as fun, but I think of all the fun times we've went on cruises in the Bahamas, and yeah. So it's still a great story, just not, it's just us behind the cup, I guess.
But that's okay.
It is okay.
Still a memory.
Bahamas was our first cruise.
A memory of the sea, Liz.
Yeah.
A memory of the sea. I'm just going to get a quick stretch in.
Okay.
So let's do a little weekly recap. Let's let people know what we've been up to, what we've been working on. This week, our team did a couple of really cool videos. I can't say our team because all I did was stand in the back and take a picture that I would post on my personal social media to say, man, I'm just happy to be on this team. But Anthony on our team crushed it, making some really cool stuff for a summer camp that's happening. And he also made a bumper for a new series that we're working on, a new 4-week series, finally.
Do you even work then?
I supervise a lot of times. No, it does feel that way sometimes. This week I was trying to be nice. It's not the weekend, by the way. It's Tuesday when we're recording this on July 4th. So it feels like it's the weekend, and I'm recapping the week, and I just realized...
It's only been 3 days.
It's literally... Yeah. Well, it's been one work day for me because we've only had a Monday. But anyways, this is a big Monday, I guess. So he did all that and wrapped all that stuff up, but it can feel that way sometimes. I'm not going to lie. I took a lot... Well, I didn't take a lot off his plate yesterday, but I offered to do a couple of small things that he would normally do because I needed to fulfill my validation hole. Just kidding. No, I just really wanted to help him out. And that was the way that I could best help my team. So it's been a pretty good Monday. So far, so good. Pretty good week so far. How about you?
I'm struggling a little bit. So when we did our first episode on Friday, that's when I started feeling sick. And it's just been kind of some kind of crud that's been going. And no, I haven't gone to the doctor because I only go to the doctor when I feel like I'm on the brink of death. I literally, every time I go to the doctor, they're like, oh yeah, you just have to wait it out. And
they give you medicine.
Not all the time. They just tell me to wait it out and I have to pay them money. And I'm just so dang cheap. But this time, I really thought I was sick because of possibly in addition to the family. And so I was really, really excited.
Addition to the family, what do you mean?
As in a baby.
Oh.
But Mother Nature showed up today, and so now I am sick and disappointed. So, struggling a little bit. But
this
it's okay.
is Well, this is interesting news, Liz. I honestly can't wait. I was going to play it up a little bit. I can't wait for people to listen to this once they finally find it, which again...
Because remember, we're not posting it on our personal social medias for
correct.
a while.
Yep. Secret podcast listeners, you are getting a really cool glimpse into our life that we just want to talk through. But it's so fun because people up until this point in our life, y'all, we have not been on the same page about whether I want kids or whether she wants kids. We've never both wanted kids at the same time, but for some reason, it's just like the stars aligned a couple of months ago or maybe like a year ago.
Yeah, this has been a year because I've always said we have to consistently want kids together for 6 months.
Which has never happened.
Which is we've been married 10 years coming September, so literally in like 2 months.
September 27th.
Yes.
That's our anniversary.
Yes. So I've always said we needed to consistently want kids for 6 months.
Okay.
And we have consistently wanted kids for about 9 months now.
Well, that's enough time to have
almost
a baby.
year. Yeah, right. But so we really only have been trying for February, March, April, May. So 5 months. We've been kind of trying for 5 months. So I guess it's been almost a year since we've been consistently on the same page because I got off of birth control in February.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm excited that you want to talk about that a little bit. And I'm excited that you're okay sharing that because a lot of times I think people get a little bit, they feel a little funky or embarrassed about that stuff.
Yeah. So with me, I don't mind talking about it. I don't personally want to talk about it to people I am not close with. Not saying I'm not close to you listeners. Oof. But just kind of like in our circle. So since Taylor and I have been married for so long and we are a part of the church community, people just assumed we are infertile, which could be. We've never really tried to have kids until
Target
the past.
is yet to sell fertility tests. They sell artificial insemination kits.
Yeah.
I just learned that.
Yeah, so we've really only been trying since February, so it hasn't really been that long. But being a teacher, I thought I was going to crack the system and try and get like a super long maternity leave. So last month and like this coming like past ovulation cycle, I just really was like, okay, all right, we got to do it. We got to get pregnant. So I really, really wanted to get pregnant either last month or this month, just so I could have like the super long maternity leave going into summer. So I really thought I was pregnant this time and I was really excited. Number one, because I'm like, haha, I cracked the code. Number two, I really want a baby. And
such a Liz thing to say.
Yeah. And so it's really disappointing. Thinking you are and then like you're not, because I had the low immune system, I was nauseous, prior TMI, I was a little constipated. So like it's just like COVID, guys. When you look up the symptoms, when we all was like, do I have COVID? And you hit every single symptom, but it wasn't it. That's how I felt when I looked up like early pregnancy symptoms, and I like kind of like convinced myself, and I got my hopes up really high, and boo.
And here you are.
But now I'm just kind of, and I'm the only one that thinks like this, but so this coming ovulation cycle, then I'm like, well, then I only get 4 weeks of maternity leave before school starts. And I'm just going to be really upset, which this is how it's probably going to happen, if I have this kid during summer and I don't get to use my short-term disability. So I'm paying all this money for short-term disability and I don't get to use it because I have the kid during the summer.
You just described insurance as a whole. Paying every month for something that I'm definitely not going to use until I do use it.
But yeah, I
Probably
don't know.
not this time.
I'm just in short-term disability. You have to pay so much money just for something to cover 60% of your pay.
Gosh.
So I'm like, I don't get insurance.
I don't either.
It's fine.
You do get insurance though.
I do. I just hate it.
I don't get insurance. You understand insurance.
And it makes me frustrated.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, I'm a little disappointed. And then it's just one of those things. Because you can kind of get a little say, it's all in God's timing, but you can activate the formula or not. You know what I mean?
No.
So
I'm scared to say that.
you can choose when there's only a certain time a female can get pregnant.
I understand now.
Yeah, and so you can choose when to try and activate the formula of having a baby during that time or not.
Wow.
And so now I'm kind of like, well, do we try and wait until... Because I just want my short-term disability. I want my 6 weeks free of work. I don't want to have a baby. I don't want to be pregnant in the summer. That sounds miserable.
No, that does sound pretty bad. I took Matthias for a walk this morning at 10:15, and it was 90 degrees outside. I wanted to die.
And then all my students who have summer birthdays, they get so upset because they want to celebrate their birthdays in the middle of the school year. So who knows? I am bullheaded enough to be like, don't touch me for this amount of months and try to like time pregnancy again.
Sad day for me.
Yeah, sometimes.
You have gotten, I hope I don't overshare, and feel free to redirect me anytime you feel like we're getting too close to a nerve. But just being honest, it's been really hard to, and I joked about it earlier, but it's been really hard to navigate your emotions through this process because you feel, I'll say, just in our relationship, it's probably different for everybody else's, but in ours, at least, it feels like you carry the weight of not getting pregnant way more than I do. Because in my mind, and it's not even like, sick, I get to have sex one more time. It's not even that for me. It's like you carry this, it seems like you carry this like, hey, I'm not pregnant again, crushed. Oh, test again next month. I'm still not pregnant, crushed. Do you kind of feel like that's on par?
Yeah, so I've always kind of... Well, I think one of the reasons why I was so hesitant to get on the pregnancy page is when people would ask me when I was going to have kids, and for the longest time in our marriage, we were on the same page of we do not want kids.
Yeah, it didn't bother us.
Yeah, we had no desire to have kids, which is perfectly okay. And people would tell me I would change my mind.
Which made you definitely not change your mind.
I'm so bullheaded to a fault. And I was like, nuh-uh. Like, you don't know me. I'm not going to change my mind. And so, and then you see so many other people get pregnant, and it's like it's almost like they force the Hallmark moments in their pregnancy. Does that make sense?
No, what do you mean?
Like, and I understand it's a miracle, but I just feel like they almost over romanticize pregnancy.
Like getting pregnant or the 9 months?
I feel like all of it, like all of it, if that makes sense. And it could just be me being callous because of all the people who said, you're going to change your mind. It's a miracle. It's worth it. Then even when I was like, well, we're going to wait until we can afford it. And people are like, well, you'll never be able to afford it. Right. You'll never be ready, blah, blah, blah. But
yeah, sure. But we can prep a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like one of the reasons why we are both on the same page right now is because we can financially afford it. Like, we already, since January, started putting money aside for daycare.
Yeah. So can we talk just for like a hot second about that really quick?
Yeah.
So ironically, I feel like I've been bringing up financial stuff in other conversations and in stuff like this. So I'm pretty proud of myself. I'm usually not that guy. But something I'm really proud of us for doing is every month I'm huge, massive on automatic savings. So we've got a couple of these automations set up to where at a certain date in the month, our checking account will transfer X amount into a specific savings account. And for us, we save automatically for vacation. We save automatically for retirement. We save automatically for, we call it daycare, but it's really just the little
the
cushion.
Baby fund, the stork fund.
Baby fund, yeah. So not necessarily even their college funds, just their diapers, cribs, all that kind of just baby stuff in general.
Well, because neither one of our families, like, we don't have a rich grandma who's going to pay the $500 crib or the however much stuff costs. So we do have an amazing church family, but like, I don't expect
Stuff's
anyone.
Expensive.
So expensive. So like the big ticket item, we don't really have anyone in our life that's going to bless us with a big ticket item. So that's another reason why I'm like, let's go ahead and save up now, because I don't want to get secondhand cribs and my second choice stroller. And you can't buy car seats new because that's not safe. I mean, old because that's not safe. And so, I mean, I'm just really excited that I'm going to be able to decorate the nursery the way I want to, or if I wanted to not do, because sometimes the cheap diapers give your baby rashes. So if I have to do like the expensive diapers, it's fine. But
I'm
excited
we kind
about
of have that nest I don't know if you call it a nest egg, because I think that's referring to something else in finance, but we have that little cushion that we've been saving months for automatically. So it's not we're beating the status quo. We're ready to have a kid financially, blah, blah. We just have a little cushion.
Well, and that way, whenever we do have to pay for daycare, we don't have to try and like, how are we going to make this work?
This is a tough month, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we kind of have that little cushion. No, it'll be tough. I'm sure there's stuff. We're not parents saying all this stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm sure stuff's going to be like, hey, actually, you've got this hospital bill, or you've got this doctor bill, or you got this thing that came up and you didn't plan for it. That's going to happen.
Right. But it's nice that we have a separate fund just to cushion us.
Yeah. So I apologize. I cut you off.
Yeah, that's fine. So just to kind of like circle back. So I have just kind of like having that mind shift change. I have acknowledged some of the cliches to be a little true, if that makes sense. So because now I want to be pregnant, the idea of not being able to have kids kind of scares me. And not saying like, I am a baby maker, but I have found surprisingly that I do find a lot of identity in getting pregnant.
Man, that's so weird to hear you say.
I never thought that before, because when we were like not really wanting kids, it was like, oh yeah, maybe we'll adopt one day. Or people would straight up ask me, because they're rude, can you even have kids? I'm like, I don't know, never tried. But if not, I'll adopt. And I would say it so casually, but that was without the desire of wanting to have a kid. And so, and so now it's just kind of like that. It's that in the back of my mind, what if I'm 31? We waited so long to even try to have kids. And what if something doesn't work? And now, like, we have to go through, like, the process of... But I don't think, even if something happens and we can't have kids, I don't think I would ever want us to do, like, IVF or any of the extra stuff. That just sounds like even more pain. But, we don't know.
Yeah, who knows?
I could get pregnant next month. It could be a year or two, and we're still trying to get pregnant.
Right.
And we do adoption. Who knows?
You know what makes it all better, though?
Facebook ads.
Not Facebook ads, but Facebook friends that continue to post.
Oh my gosh,
we're
everyone
pregnant.
is announcing their pregnancy right now. It is so annoying. It's just like whenever you buy a new car and then now you see your car everywhere. So now it feels like everyone is like doing Facebook, and we really want a girl.
Low-key really want a little girl.
And so we have a girl name agreed upon, and the boy name, don't even say it, Taylor.
We do have a boy name picked out too.
He has the boy name. He wants to, and I don't like it. And so that's why I'm just praying for a girl. And so I feel like everyone is pregnant with
girls. They're all announcing, pink balloons.
And I'm like, ooh, must be nice. And so it's just kind of like learning to be content, because we're very content with our life right now.
Very much.
But we just really want a little girl. But also, it's just very discouraging that my Facebook ads went from like baby stuff to now infertility stuff.
And we don't talk about IVF or anything like that.
I've never Googled, what if I can't get pregnant? I've never Googled, like, anything about like
weird
infertility or anything like that. Now I've Googled like, nursery items, because I jump the gun and I get excited and I dream about like the future nursery.
Again, you should be getting more pregnancy ads for that.
Yeah, I Google like little like baby clothes and whatnot, because I think about like what my little kid is going to wear.
Oh yeah.
Never once Googled anything like that. So it went from all these what you need for your nursery to know your fertility health and IVF, and like even like the onesie.
Geriatric? I don't know, something
no, I'm not
like
there
that.
yet. But even like the onesies of the babies, like made with love, and like I guess the chemical with the IVF, and I'm like, okay, Facebook.
How did we get here?
I was like, you jerk.
Okay, so speaking of Facebook, maybe somebody's listening and they struggle with something kind of along this lines of dealing with that waiting period. So you, as a woman that is actively trying to get pregnant, is not right now, not yet, and you see all of these ads. How do you kind of reconcile that in your head? How do you not get super depressed or super upset? And how do you stay content while at the same time, because a lot of these are like friends. So how do you celebrate them as well as not, get super down and out about it?
So I mean, I allow myself to feel sad. So feeling sad is not feeling discontent. Like feeling sad is okay and it's encouraged. Like, so let yourself feel sad. Let yourself feel disappointed.
Sleep in sometimes.
Dude, I slept in so long today. But also, I'm also a little sick too. So you have to give me a little grace. Like,
you have yet to film a podcast where we've heard your normal quote unquote voice.
Yeah, I'm still like a little raspy, but it's okay. And I have a speech impediment, so we'll never really hear my normal voice.
Normal, quote unquote.
Normal. But so the only thing I was like, well, it wasn't our kid this month, because if you think about it, an egg is different every single month with its own different set of like DNA, and then your sperm count is different every single time. You know what I mean? And it's one sperm and one egg, and so I just think I'm like, it wasn't God's plan this month. And it's so gut-wrenching because I'm like, but God, I had everything planned. Like, especially, guys, if I was pregnant this month, I would have had the ultrasound around the time that my little sister passed away, like her death day. And so how poetic would that have been? And I did the 40-week count, and then the due date would have been around her birthday in the spring.
You're such a planner.
And I was like, this is God. Like, how else but God can allow this timeline to happen? And so often we portray our plan onto God's plan, but that's just not how it is. And you can be disappointed while waiting for God's plan, but you just have to know, you can't let yourself get depressed. So there's a difference between being disappointed and being depressed.
Okay. Talk about that a little bit.
And so, I mean, I can be disappointed something did not happen and go my way, but I know God has a better plan. Being depressed is just letting yourself not bounce back up.
It's staying in that down feeling. Okay.
And so we'll see if it happens in July this month. We'll see.
You might be the first to know. Just kidding. Our parents will be the first to know.
No,
but still.
And I even told Taylor, I was like, once it happens, because there's a thing called chemical pregnancy, and plus 30% of people do miscarry. So I am prepared for that. Like, I might be one of those statistics as well. So there's so much. I never knew.
30% of pregnancies end in miscarriages.
That I read it somewhere. Okay. I'm not willing to die on that stat. But a lot of it is before people even know they're pregnant. Does that make sense? So they call it like a chemical pregnancy, and some people call it a miscarriage, I think.
Yeah, early pregnancy loss, okay.
Yeah, so I'm prepared since I am an over tester. I bought like the big strips on Amazon, like the big pull strip.
Sam's pack, basically.
Pretty much. So I am prepared to have like a pregnancy test says positive, and then we go to the doctor and be like, actually, no, there's no baby, because that means the hormones was there, but the egg didn't stick or grow. And so some people call it a chemical. It's classified as a chemical pregnancy, but some people will say it's a miscarriage.
Yeah, so I just looked this up. This is crazy. So March of Dimes, they have an article or something that says, for women who know they're pregnant, about 10 to 20 in 100 pregnancies, so like 10 to 20% end in miscarriage.
Okay.
What? Mm-hmm. Wow.
But then that's just the people who know they're pregnant. So that means people miscarry even more, and they never even realize that they were pregnant.
It does say that miscarriage, also called early pregnancy loss, is when there's a pregnancy loss before 20 weeks. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, I mean, there's just so many, and I didn't realize how hard it was to get pregnant, being a high school teacher and seeing all these teenage kids being pregnant, and they're like, it only happened one time. I call shenanigans. Shenanigans. Because, especially, like, I just knew, because I started tracking everything in February when we got off of birth control, and so February, March, April, May, we weren't like not trying, but not trying, but not, you know, just seeing like, oh, we'll see what happens. But then like last month and this month, I knew when was the time.
The one.
Like Taylor literally said, this is probably TMI. He was like, I feel like a piece of meat. I was like, I don't care. It's time. It's time to do this.
Gotta get this done.
I was like, we gotta get pregnant because I'm just such a my
timetable.
Yeah, I was like, it's ovulation time. Go. And so, I mean, last month and this month, well, I guess it was last month and the month before last, since we just found out. Yeah. We did everything physically within our power to get pregnant.
True.
And so, and I even went spiritual, guys, last month. So May, I was like, all right, God.
Oh, snap.
May we did everything with an eye power.
Wait, hold on. Let me turn the lights down.
Yeah.
Gotta pray. We gotta pray.
Altar call. and so last month I was like, all right. I was like, God, we did everything in our power last time, but this time, like, it's all you. Like, only you can do this.
Right.
I didn't tell you this, but even while we were,
Don't you dare.
I was like saying a prayer during it. I was like, all right, God.
You prayed while we were having sex?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
He was like, God, you can do it.
Wow. I don't know how to feel about this.
Because I really wanted it to happen.
That's precious, though.
I even like texted like three of them are like really close, like a couple of like three older women in the church that I really look up to for like spiritual guidance. I literally texted them, it's ovulation week, please say a prayer.
So they're interceding for our sex life, essentially.
Pretty much. And so I was like, all right, God,
Wow.
May, it was all on us, but June, it's all on you. And so I just knew. I'm like so red right now.
Your face is so red.
Because it was I wasn't planning to share that.
I'm glad you did.
And we're not pregnant, so
It's true.
thanks God. You have a
Living
plan.
in the land of the waiting.
I like to call it the land of the hallway. We're just waiting for the door to open. We don't know when it's gonna open.
Just in the hallway. I like that.
Yeah, so praise him in the hallway.
Wow. And there's your soundbite. Just praise him in the hallway.
Yep. But yeah, I mean, it happens, and I feel like if I do have a miscarriage, it's going to be so devastating. I know that, but I want to be like super open and vulnerable about the walk with it.
Well, especially since it's so common.
Yeah.
Not common, I'd say, but it happens more than people think it does.
So, but I mean, obviously, like, I feel like with any pregnancy, as we are on the same page and we joke, we pulled the plug.
You pulled the goalie.
Oh yeah, the goalie.
Pulling the plug.
Oh, that's death.
It's like the ventilator or something.
Oops, we pulled the goalie. But I mean, because then I think about that, because my little sister with special needs, and then we have some friends who have a little boy with autism, and then I just had another friend whose little boy got diagnosed with leukemia, and I was like, do we? So I'm like hesitating. I'm like, do we want to do this? Do we not want to do this?
You know, in the great movie Hamilton, George Washington is talking to Alexander Hamilton, and you know, he's all ready to fight. He's all ready to go to war and to prove himself, but he's super gifted at writing. Hopefully everybody listening has watched Hamilton.
It's been a few years. If not, it's fine.
Phenomenal. Not that I'm giving away spoilers because it's history, sort of.
Sure. Yeah, sort of is the key word.
But he says, dying is easy, young man. Living is harder. Mm-hmm. And it's all those little things where you fight to get pregnant. And we've gone through we've really, if we're honest, we've only gone through a few months of actively really trying. And
well, and I think when we first, February and March, I had the idea to want to try and have a December baby for the tax break. So that was like my first.
Again, such a Liz thing to say.
So that was like my first little taste of disappointment, but I was like, it's okay because I really wanted this, you know, like it would have been nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, last month and this month was like the gut. Like I actually kind of cried whenever I saw the negative pregnancy tests.
It's true. So we spend all of this time. I mean, some people spend all this time, months and years trying to get pregnant. They finally get pregnant. It's amazing. And then boom, leukemia. Boom, this other life-altering thing. So the whole thing is a challenge, but life is a challenge. And so I think that's why it's important to, I obsess over trying to get better in almost every area of my life every day. And a lot of people are like, man, you're so disciplined, man, you're so this. But if I'm really honest, I want to live a very long, good life. So I work out in my garage almost every single day, and I'm walking Matthias every day, and I'm drinking a lot of water, and I'm not at all watching what I eat. I could care less about what I eat, to be honest with you, and that's something I probably need to grow in. But I'm trying to read books. I'm trying to grow in my skills. I want to live a long, good life, and I want to be around for a long time, and I want to be worth a lot. And so I think it's important that even when stuff gets hard, even when stuff gets difficult, that we are still trying to learn, we're trying to grow, we're trying to improve. Because man, there's so much that we can get depressed about, so many things that could go wrong. But instead of looking at all the stuff that could go wrong, I found a lot of encouragement in going, yeah, but what if something really good happens? Like, what if this happens and this works out this way?
I saw a t-shirt and it literally just said, what if it all works out? I'm like,
I love that.
that is mind-blowing to think about. As a warrior,
Yeah.
I always say I have like 6 contingency plans.
You do.
I'm like, what if it all works out? And then I'm like, but then I get so annoyed because I literally told Taylor, I was like, I'm so tired of hoping. Because
You get
it's
tired of hoping.
so
Yeah, it's true.
Tiring.
Yeah.
And then like that Sunday at church, we were singing how he's like the living hope and blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, I get it, God.
Shenanigans. No, I'm
I
just
get
kidding.
it, God. Like,
Yeah.
But I mean, it still gets, you know it, but it's still tiring.
I think that's why it's important to sing those songs. Mm-hmm. You have to speak that truth over yourself, even in the garbage that you are currently seeing and walking through. Because if somebody else isn't going to encourage you, you can encourage you. Mm-hmm. I don't think people know how to do that very well, or they don't do it very often.
Yeah.
But it's
That's why
powerful.
I'm thankful for like worship songs and whatnot. You just,
Dude, play them.
like, if you don't know the words, they got them.
Let it just wash. My thing, and okay, forgive me, but I'm an ex-worship leader, I guess you could say. So I told that to somebody and they go, ex-worship leader? And I was like, I still love Jesus
You were
very much.
exiled from worship.
I just don't actively serve in that role anymore. But man, I just sometimes tell people, if you don't know the words and it's a new song, that's okay. Just let it just wash over you. Just let yourself hear that and let that truth get into your mind and then think on that all throughout the week. God, that's such a powerful thing. All right. I think it's time to wrap up, Liz.
Because we have to go to a cookout.
It's July 4th. What else are we going to do besides sit around all day, but, watch fireworks and grill out and stuff?
Eat watermelon
Watermelon.
with tahini.
True. Well, thanks again for listening to this second episode. Hopefully something that we said encouraged you. Thanks for just joining the journey with us. Liz, thanks for being vulnerable.
Yeah, no problem.
Sharing all that. You didn't have to, for sure. I made sure that I asked you, if you're listening, I made sure I asked her beforehand what is off limits. But again, this is just a nice place where we can process this stuff and help people along the way. Because
Right.
there's probably other people out there feeling the same way.
Definitely not alone in this.
No, it's true. So thanks again for listening. Be sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss episodes that we release, because it's going to be random. We have no idea how often we will do
We're
this.
still figuring it out.
Yeah, it'll be at least once a week, but we're hoping to get some stuff to you sooner than that so that you can kind of be on this journey with us as well. Also, be sure to rate this. Currently, we are just on Spotify, but we have applied to be on the Apple Podcast platform. And so once you see that up there, wherever you're listening, be sure to drop a review, drop a rating. It really helps us to get this stuff in front of more people so that more people can listen and be encouraged by this stuff so we can all learn and grow together, right?
Right.
Cool. Well, until next time, we'll see you. And if you're in the United States, have a very happy 4th of July.
Bye.